really important piece of work that's been done is around something that's called transactional analysis. And this was a model of seeing how people have relationships, particularly in the work environment. And it was explored by a man called Eric Berne. And what he did was he took work from Sigmund Freud and said within each of us are 3 ego states. And those ego states are a parent state, an adult state and a child state. And what he said was that they are inside all of us, whether we like it or not. So the parent state is the one that we've been taught. We've had that experience from parents, from carers, from, well, even from Father Christmas, if you like. But anybody in authority or more powerful has been that kind of parent influence on us. And then we've also had the child one, which obviously comes from our own experience. And everything to do with our emotions and the way we deal with things all comes from that child ego. So you've got a balance then between that which is known as felt emotion and then the parent one, which is taught. But we also have this adult role, and the adult in us is in the here and now is the best way of saying it. It's the calm, it's the what, why, how can we do this, that kind of conversation, and it's very much about now. And that is a part of these 3 egos. Now they're lovely, and what Eric Berne said was, if you have a conversation and you're in your parent state with another parent, that's a very good transaction. So in terms of talking about teachers, if one manager of a department here asked another manager, how do you get your staff to do this? How do you get your people to manage this? And they reply to that, then that would be a transaction between a parent and parent ego. Unfortunately, for most of us, we do the opposite. So you get what is known as a cross transaction, which is when one of the managers says to a team, staff, I want you to stay late tonight because we've got a lot of extra work to do. And unfortunately, instead of talking adult to adult, they capture the ego state of the other person and they capture it in child. And the child goes over my dead body and behaves or has a tantrum or has all of the kinds of things that are linked to children. So if we want to get staff to move on, we have to move them up to the adult stage and we have to make that balance. And I always say to people, when you're doing appraisals, it should always be adult to adult. No surprises, no I'm telling you what to do, no I don't care what you tell me. It's got to be that adult to adult. And I think people have to work quite hard at using those 2 ego states and having a non-crossed transaction. You can have child and child together, you can have that kind of conversation, as long as you're both having fun and you're doing it at that level. And I always say advertising agencies, for example, would be a good example where they're learning to design and they're trying to get good ideas together. They need to be in their child ego state. But you can see some very damaging relationships if they're not, if people don't make the effort. And the barriers are that they've always done it this way. You know, I'm a manager, so I've got to tell you what to do. No, you don't. As a manager now, you have to find ways that will meet that other person's adult side.